All right, guys. This is your NFL expert, Marcus Sniffles, back with another video. So I'm just going to give my uh, quick recap from week 2. Colts come out with a victory against the Texans on the road. No wide receiver really showed out the way I thought we would have one, like in the days where TY would go out there and bust her ass every week in Texas. So we didn't have that this week, but still got the win, so that's a good thing. We got to give a big shout out to the offense and defensive line. The offensive line, 0 sacks. Like all season, people have been saying that the offensive line is going to be a problem. It's going to be an issue against the Texans. Not an issue at all. If anything, it was a strength. And Zach Moss had like almost 5 yards of carry. He had all the carries because Deion Jackson actually just got released today. So it kind of makes you wonder how that Jags game goes if we have Zach Moss playing instead of Deion Jackson. Like there's probably a good chance we win that game because Zach Moss isn't giving up all them turnovers and he's getting more than 1 yard of carry. So shout out to Zach Moss for having a great game. Shout out to the defensive line. We had like 6 sacks, which is insane. Obviously, the Texans had a lot of injuries on the offensive line, but this is still the NFL. So it's like if you're out there, you kind of got to do something. You know what I'm saying? And maybe not put your quarterback in a position to get sacked that many times because it's not like there was a lot of coverage sacks out there because our secondary is low-key ass right now. So hopefully throughout the year, I know they're young, but hopefully at some point the cornerbacks can kind of step it up and, I'm not saying shut these guys down, but man, our defensive line and our linebackers are playing really, really well right now. And if our cornerbacks could just like slow down some of these receivers, this defense could actually be special, like legit. Because I said it last week, I'm gonna keep saying it, man. Zaire Franklin, that dude's gonna be an All-Pro this year. Like he's playing that well. Once again, he's leading the league in tackles. I believe he did that last year. He broke the Colts franchise record for single season tackles. He's the best linebacker on the team. He's arguably the best defender on the team. And he's a top 3 player on the roster. Like it's probably between like him and Quentin Nelson and Jonathan Taylor whenever he's healthy. But like Zaire Franklin is becoming one of them guys, like a legit stopper. And he probably doesn't have enough splash plays to be in contention for defensive player of the year right now. But if he gets like maybe an interception or a couple more sacks or something like that, his name should be mentioned up there. And it's a little bit hard being a linebacker when you have like players like the Bosa's and all the edge players getting all the sacks or defensive backs getting all the interceptions. So it's kind of hard. He just gets in there and just gets the job done. Like every week you can rely on him to make the smart play, to make the solid plays and do his job. Essentially, not my issue, but at some point, man, Anthony Richardson has to finish a game, like start to finish. I know he could have finished the Jaguars game if we absolutely needed him to, but the fact that he's kind of been knocked out of every game when you consider his size, height, and weight compared to the quarterback that was taken before him and Bryce Young, who ironically is missing a game because of injury also. So who knows? The NFL is a weird ass sport where you can be, 6'4", 250 and miss games, and you can be fucking 5'9", a $180, and you're still gonna miss games too. So who knows? Either way. So one thing that I also did come away from the game with is I haven't watched any of these rookie quarterbacks play and thought, wow, we got the wrong guy. I have not had that feeling yet. Like watching Bryce Young, I think Bryce Young is in a shitty situation as far as the team and the lack of weapons that he has out there and his size. I know there's the Drew Breeses out there, but there's only a few guys that are small that actually succeed in the NFL. But yeah, I just don't think Bryce Young has enough talent around him. And CJ Stroud, I think he's kind of in the same boat. Even though I think they're both talented quarterbacks and can sling the ball, I just don't think they're in the best positions to win. Like, say what you want, the Panthers and Texans had to give up draft capital in a way to get them. Like obviously the Panthers traded up to 1 to get Bryce, and they had to give up a lot of pieces to get him. The Texans technically drafted CJ at number 2, but they gave up pieces to get back to number 3 to draft Will Anderson. So in a way, they still gave up draft capital to get the guy that they want. So either way, I think Anthony Richardson fell into the perfect spot to a team that didn't have to give up any assets, has a offensive minded head coach, and as we're seeing right now, a great offensive line and a pretty solid defense. So if you tell me in the next 4 years that Anthony Richardson is a top 5 quarterback and CJ Stroud and Bryce Young are kind of still struggling to find their footing, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. Like even watching Anthony out there, he doesn't look like a quarterback that doesn't know how to throw or make plays or hit targets. Like he's missed some throws, but he doesn't look like these moments are too big for him. So I'm glad that we got the guy, and I think we got the right guy, and I'm willing to bet that we make the playoffs next year. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. We're gonna make the playoffs next year. Let's see. Did I have anything else from last week? No. So I guess going into Baltimore, like I said before, Anthony Richardson is not playing. I think this would have been a great game for his development to go back on the road and play a team historically that always has like a top tier defense, whether it be like changing up fronts, disguising looks, things like that, that could really advance a quarterback's development, especially seeing stuff like that early on. So it's a bummer that he's not going to be able to play. We got to go with Gardner Minshew, who I like Gardner Minshew. I'm not mad at him, but he's definitely the best backup quarterback for this situation. Like he played under Shane Steichen last year, so he knows the offense. Our offensive line is good. Our running game is good. Our defense is good. The Ravens have like 50,000 injuries right now, so if the Colts defense can kind of make the Ravens one-dimensional, maybe we can make it a game. Maybe we can make it a game. And the hardest part is going to be what dimension do you limit them in offensively as the Colts defense? Do you want the Ravens to run the ball like crazy all over you with their running backs and Lamar Jackson? Or do you just want to, put a cap on the run game and just say, hey, Lamar, just beat us with your arm. We're not going to let you run the ball on us. Just go ahead and throw it. And I honestly don't know what to do because Lamar can't do that. Like we saw it last year, actually. Was it last year? It was either last year or 2 years. No, Carson Wentz was the quarterback, so it was 2 years ago. We've seen Lamar go out there and beat a team with his arm because he did it to us. He did it to the Colts. They were down like 14 points or something in the fourth quarter, or maybe even more than that. And he was able to bring them back passing the ball. So Lamar Jackson's one of those quarterbacks where I don't understand why people question his ability to play the position, because I have seen it firsthand where he will single-handedly beat you with his arm and his legs. So it's going to be a tough matchup. Hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully it's close. I'm not sure how much of it I'm going to watch, honestly, because Anthony Richardson isn't playing. And like I've said before, like this season is all about Anthony Richardson's development for the most part. And if he's not playing, it's almost like, why am I going to focus on it? I'm not going to say I'm not going to watch it. It's going to be on the TV, but yeah, I'm not sure how this game goes. I just would like for the game to be competitive and for, the defense to kind of to step up a little bit, especially the secondary. So we'll see. Hopefully we come out with a win. That'd be great. If not, maybe next time. But either way, if you made it this far, drop a like, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I'd really appreciate it. And go Colts. Thank you for watching the video. If you've made it this far, drop a like, subscribe so you don't miss any videos like this one.